And I'm going to try to be very brief because the budget will be placed online. Anytime you want to refer to it, if you want to take a look at it, you can see it on the CCG website. But I'll just tell you a few highlights and try to get through it pretty quickly. The 27 recommended budget is balanced with $402,571,312 in revenues and expenses. This represents an uptick of about 2% in the budget last year. Across all these functional areas, the recommended budget is a solid plan for the upcoming fiscal year, as it remains in line with our strategic plans, priorities, and initiatives. However, we will continue to monitor our budgetary performance and will provide updates and/or recommendations to council if adjustments are required. We've experienced year-over-year increase in our, particularly in our sales taxes. We had some other increases in insurance premium taxes, charges for services, occupation taxes, sales taxes, fines, and forfeitures for a total of about $7.6 million more this year than last. A couple of things that I'll mention. We are able to give our most valuable assets, our employees, a little bit of a raise. The 2% cost of living adjustment for all full-time employees. It'll be effective on July 1. A 1% COLA for our retirees, budgeted health care cost of $8,500 per position. Millage rate remains unchanged. With this budget, we do stay above our 60-day GGFO recommended policy minimum in reserve funds. We have 74.44 days in reserve. Now, we are also cognizant of the fact that our internal goal is to try to keep that fund balance at around 90 days. When we don't, we try to bring a couple of recommendations or at least some ideas that we could evaluate to try to get it back up above that. And that's what we are going to do with council. So in the next couple of months, you'll be receiving just some information for us to begin talking about to be able to address some of those items. One thing that we're going to bring is revisit of the TADs. Some of the TADs have not had a project in them and have no project on the horizon. And if they don't, then there's an opportunity for council to consider whether they want to sunset some of those TADs. And if there comes an opportunity for a specific project in one of those specific areas, we can restart the TAD. But in the meantime, we can continue to get the property tax that will be coming through there. Another presentation we'll be making with staff over the next several months will be to revisit the urban service districts. We've got two different taxation models going, one in USD1, well, actually more than that, but the primary ones are USD1 and USD2. And they were originally different because you had some rural areas of Muskogee County years ago where you didn't get services as quickly, whether it was fire or police. You had a lot of dirt roads and some other things that you just weren't quite the same. They're much more equal now than they were, if not exactly equal. So we will have an opportunity for the revisiting of the urban service districts to determine if that's needs changing. This is the fourth post-implementation year for the Evergreen Pay Plan. The pay plan has helped us fill critical vacancies in our government and better align employee salaries with the current employment market. However, we understand and we recognize that we've got to continue an ongoing comprehensive maintenance of that pay plan in order for it to stay relevant and for us to retain our employees and seek the best quality employee in the future. We also added specialty pay for the police department. We have done this in the past with the fire department. And so for certain certifications and initiatives that the officers take on, there will be some compensation to that. Just like with the fire department, it'll be maxed at what they can earn through those certifications. Also want to mention, we've been talking about the pension plan. This is not in the ordinance for our budget, but we do want to make sure that council understands where we are on this. In 2012, the city implemented a significant pay plan reform to strengthen the pension plan and ensure its long-term reliability for both current and future employees. The pension board has engaged a consultant to perform a review. We're using Aon and NFP. It's a benefits consultant. They were selected to lead the review process. Without getting down into the weeds too much, I'll tell you that there was a three-phase approach. One was to review the current pension plans and perform a peer group analysis. One was to initiate employee surveys and focus groups to gather input. And one was to submit proposed recommendations for potential plan design changes. 5 different topics that they have brought to us for further evaluation from our actuary, who will tell us what the impact of some of these are. One is on vesting, reducing vesting period from 10 years to 5 years. One is on a benefit formula. In the past, people that started in the government very, very early, they would hit a point where they were still paying into the benefit, the pension fund, but not receiving any benefit from it. So there'll be a 1% multiplier after 30 years of service, and it'll cap at 40. That way, if somebody starts very young and works 40 years, they can retire with 70% of their salary instead of the 60. An unreduced retirement age, lower that retirement age to 62 with 30 years for general government. Public safety remains at 55 after 25 years. And the last item they put was the drop change, the recommendation to evaluate the removal of the 3-year drop suspension for new drop participants. So these are things that we're doing, and it was done back in 2012 to try to continue to strengthen the plan so that it provides a benefit structure that our employees will appreciate and want to continue working in our government for. We are facing some challenges. Healthcare costs continue to go up. We had actually seen them level off just a little bit until 2 years ago. Now the last 2 years, we've seen a little bit more of an uptick. We are still proposing that the 75% of the cost of that is paid by the city, 25% by the employees. And there will be a small uptick, but if they go through their wellness program, it won't be more than $1 to $10 for the families. So I'm looking forward to the opportunity to work through this. Council always does a great job at listening to what the needs are. And I will tell you that this was kind of a tough challenge putting this together because it is difficult. It's hard enough to give people's needs. We really struggled to try to give some of the wants, but we tried to make sure that there was something for everybody. You'll find in the budget book a list of reclassifications of non-budget neutral and budget neutral positions. Lastly, let me thank the Deputy City Managers, Pam Hodge and Lisa Goodwin, for the tremendous job that they have done, as well as our Finance Director, Angelica Alexander. I got to tell you, I wake up 5 o'clock every morning, and it's at least one text or email from Angelica at about 4 in the morning or 3 in the morning. So she's working around the clock, has worked around the clock along with her staff to try to put this together. We also want to thank all the department heads, our elected partners, and the CCG staff for their unbelievable efforts and contributions to composing this fiscally responsible and community-centric recommended budget. To the council, I thank you in advance for all the hard work that you do year after year and the hard work that I know you're going to do this year. And with that, it's my duty and my honor to present the FY27 recommended budget.